We are going to take some notes today. I don't have a formal worksheet for you, so I need you to have out a piece of paper that you can keep in your notebook and a pencil, obviously, so we can take notes. Today, we are going to solve inequalities with variables on both sides. We are familiar with this because we've done it with equations. So I'm going to do 4 examples with you. So you can pause this at any time if I'm going too fast, and you can kind of catch yourself up with your notes. So for the first one, so you're going to write your title, Solving Inequalities with Variables on Both Sides. And then number 1 is going to be 5 minus 3c is less than or equal to c plus 17. Like that thinner. Okay, so remember from equations that we want to move either our variables to the left and our constants to the right, or vice versa. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add 3c to both sides. That is going to give me 5 is less than or equal to 4c plus 17. From here, I'm going to subtract 17 from both sides. That leaves me with negative 12 is less than or equal to 4c. And now to get the variable alone, we're going to divide by 4, divide by 4. So we have c is greater than or equal to negative 3. We're going to graph that. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0. We're going to have a closed circle because we're including negative 3, and we want to show greater than, so we're going to go to the right. Remember, this is one way to solve. There is a second way. I'm just going to work through one way with you today. Okay, so when I scroll, this is going to erase. So we're going to do number 2. So this is going to be, let's see. All right, number 2. We're changing this to number 2. So we have 11 plus 2b is less than or equal to 3 times the quantity 2 minus b. So this has the distributive property in it, so we're going to do that first. 11 plus 2b is less than or equal to 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times negative b is negative 3b. Now we're ready to solve. So I'm going to move my variables to the left. I'm going to add 3b to both sides. That's going to give me 11 plus 5b is less than or equal to 6. And then I'm going to move my constants to the right side. So I minus 11, subtract 11. I have 5b is less than or equal to negative 5. Now I divide by 5. So I have b is less than or equal to negative 1. And we're going to have a quick graph here. So I have negative 1, negative 2, 0. I'm going to have a shaded in circle at negative 1 because we want to include it, and we're saying less than, so we're moving to the left. Okay, so that's example number 2. Example number 3. We have, so this is number 3, changing that. We have y minus 3 is less than 5y plus 1. So I'm going to move my variables to the left-hand side. So minus 5y minus 5y. That leaves me with negative 4y minus 3 is less than 1. Move my constants to the right. So plus 3 plus 3. So I have negative 4y is less than 4. I'm dividing by a negative. So in that case, we know that the rule is to reverse the inequality symbol, and we have y is greater than negative 1. Quick graph, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. We have an open circle at negative 1, and we're shading to the right. It's open because we're not including negative 1. Okay, and final example here. I am going to have a fraction for you guys. So we have negative 3/4 d plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 11 minus d. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my variables to the left. So I'm going to add a d to both sides, add d. That's really 1d if we get confused. So that's going to give me a positive 1/4 d plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 11. So now I want to move my constants to the right. Minus 3, minus 3. 1/4 times d is greater than or equal to, that's negative 14. So we're dividing by 1/4. Remember that when we divide by a fraction, we really multiply by the reciprocal. So this is really d is greater than or equal to, this is really negative 14 over 1 times 4 over 1, because we multiply by the reciprocal of 1/4. So d is greater than or equal to negative 56. And then we're going to graph that quickly. So I have, let's see, negative 56, negative 55, negative 54. I have a closed circle because I want to include 56, negative 56, and I want to shade to the right because I want to show greater than. So it's very similar to how we solved equations with variables on both sides. You just have to be careful when you're dividing by a negative or multiplying by a negative to reverse the symbol. Okay, and that's it. Now you guys are going to do the sports equipment task.